Welcome back to the Unemployed Idiot, either the dumbest or most brilliant channel on all of YouTube, and today we are really proving that point. This is my 1993 Mitsubishi 3000 GT. At first glance, you might think, wow, that's brilliant. And especially when you hear that I found it on Facebook for $1,000, making it the cheapest 3000 GT in the USA that runs and drives. But as I'll soon show you, I really earned the idiot nickname on this one. The 3000 GT debuted in 1990 as Mitsubishi's rival to the Toyota Supra and Nissan 300ZX. In Japan, they called it the GTO, but they couldn't do that here because Pontiac had the legendary GTO muscle car in the 70s and they didn't want to make people mad. Yet, that same car company now has a little SUV RAV4 thing called the Eclipse. The 3000 GT came in a high-performance VR4 version with all-wheel drive, twin-turbo, 320 horsepower, but that's not what this is. If I could find one of those for $1,000, that would be the most brilliant channel, right? This is the base model, 220-ish horsepower when it was new, probably a lot less now, but it's still quick, and it's front-wheel drive. Funny story, the guy I bought it from told me it was all-wheel drive. I drove 2.5 hours, get to this place, and find out it's not all-wheel drive. But for $1,000, what are you gonna do? After getting a little taste of driving a car on a motocross track, I don't know if we call that rally driving or motocar cross. I don't know, let's come up with a name, let me know down in the comments. But either way, after driving the PT Cruiser on the track and destroying it in like 5 minutes, I knew I was hooked and I had to get something better. We'll kind of fix it up, upgrade it, try and make it last at least 2 jumps. And that's what this is gonna be. There'll be a whole series of videos on what we're gonna do to get this car track ready, so I won't go into too much detail right now, but I promise it's gonna be freaking awesome. I don't know a ton about working on cars myself, so we'll get some friends involved and we'll learn together, and if all goes according to plan, we're going back to that track and going flying. It's gonna be awesome, I can't wait. But now I'll give you a little tour, show you some of the quirks and features of the cheapest 3000 GT in the USA. And this is where it all goes downhill in the looks department. But remember, it is going to be a rally car. Just keep that in mind. And don't judge me. Judge me a little bit. We got a 5-speed transmission here, and we get to see how it works. Isn't that fun? The gentleman I bought it from told me I could store my fire extinguisher here, which is great because it came with a can of butane. I'll show you something fun to do with butane here in just a second. But judging by this sticker right here, that bracket was not used to hold a fire extinguisher. Is nitrous bad for engines? I don't really know. Somebody tell me. Note the 16-inch wheel in front and the 17-inch wheel in the rear. It's a hatchback, so much room for activities. We have manual windows. It's held up by a can of Bud Light. Oh. The can's in the wrong spot. And of course the obligatory vape juice. And right now you're probably thinking I'm a complete idiot, but remember, it's a rally car. I was gonna have to strip it anyway. We have to stitch weld, make it stronger, make it lighter, do all that kind of stuff. So really, once I get this cleaned up, it's gonna look pretty good. Maybe not look good, but at least not look like it belongs in a junkyard. There we got the naturally aspirated V6. Dual overhead cam, making 220 horsepower. That's 80 more than the PT Cruiser. We're going flying. The engine does pull strong. That was my one requirement. I'll take it for a test drive here in just a second. The one modification we have is a cold air intake and a volt stabilizer. I don't really know what the volt stabilizer does. If you know, let me know down in the comments. Most importantly, we do have oil. That was the first thing we checked. Not making that mistake ever again, I promise. Pretty solid, that'll work. Little overspray action on the tires, but these tires are shot anyway. I already have new ones. I'll be putting those on one of the first steps. Okay. I don't think these are important anyway. Okay, so obviously the bumper is destroyed, but it would have gotten destroyed if I jumped it anyway. We'll replace that with something special and we'll be good to go. Before we get her out on the road, there's one more thing I want to go over. In case you happen to find a can of butane and a bucket of soapy water in your used 93 3000 GT, there's something fun you can do with it. Uh-oh. Did we just learn something fun? We burned a little hair off. Be careful, kids. Probably don't try that one at home. I'll admit, that one was scary. Don't try this one at home. I forgot there's gas in the car. All right, we'll do a cold start and take it for a drive. So it might look like a junkyard wreck, but it actually drives pretty decent. I'm stoked on it. We get some good acceleration. Nothing too crazy, but 200-ish horsepower. It does all right. We get a nice stream of wind from our windows that don't close, so it keeps it nice and cool in here. It sounds all right already, but when we straight pipe it, it'll sound even better. We have pretty bald tires, so we're not gonna go too crazy, and no e-brake, so no skids. We do get plenty of rattling, but I'll go through and tighten everything up and hopefully get a little bit less. I want it solid. I don't want this to be a hunk of junk when I jump it. I want it to land solid, last a lot of... Good things are coming for this car for sure. I'm really excited. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it'll be a lot of fun once it's ready. I didn't pick the best road to make this video on. Overall, I'm happy with the car. It looks like garbage, but it drives well. It's gonna do what I need it to do, and that is jump. I could have definitely gotten the VR4 for a couple thousand more dollars, but then I'd feel bad about wrecking it. This thing, who cares? If it lasts 2 jumps, that's better than the PT. I'll still be bummed, but still out ahead. Did I mention my favorite feature is the seat has a nice rocking mechanism, so it's like we can ride a bucking bronco while we're driving. When I was test driving it, I hit the gas and the whole thing just like goes flying back, and then I let off and then I go back on and it's just like, I look like an idiot in front of the guy, but he was an interesting character himself. One last fun quirk of the car, after you turn it off, you can't take the key out. Isn't that annoying? So what you have to do, you get Mr. Stick here, put it in just right, then twist it the rest of the way, and out it comes. Thankfully, that stick was included in the purchase price. I don't know what I would have done without it.